Now, today I think our plan is first to discuss one of the questions. Yes, I think we will discuss all, no? Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Tudes, of course, this last question, last two questions of the tutorial. Yeah. Last two questions we didn't discuss. Yes. Okay, just spend the 5 minutes on this question number 5 and 6. Please do that. 5 and 6 now it is, because these are very important questions, theory, application of theory. Now is it 10:31 now? 10:40 we will discuss, 10 minutes. 10 minutes, please read and just try. Now the sixth question, you have to calculate, you can calculate this equilibrium price and quantity. The question number 5, pure theory. Can you do that? 10 minutes on this. The 10:30 we'll discuss. 10:30. A very important question. 10:30. 8 minutes more. Right. Stop now. The question number 5. What do you think PD, price elasticity of demand for electricity? Elastic or inelastic? Explain. If CEB increases the price of electricity, what would happen to consumer expenditure? Income of CEB. Now, this is the, now last week we discussed the relationship between elasticity, pricing policy, and the consumer expenditure or the producer's revenue. Elasticity, if the demand is inelastic, the demand for the good is inelastic. If you increase the price of that, if the sellers increase the price of that good, producers' revenue increases. Producers' revenue means consumer expenditure increases. I'll tell it again. If the demand is inelastic, less than 1, elasticity less than 1, and suppose producer increase the price of that good, then what will happen? Consumers' expenditure also increases. Or the consumer expenditure means producers' revenue increases. Right? That is it's a elasticity is a very important measure that would lead to policymakers to take certain policy decisions. Take policy decisions about the pricing. Take the pricing policy decision. So the PD of electricity, elastic or inelastic? Elastic means greater than 1 with the sign, without the sign. Greater than, elasticity greater than 1 or less than 1. What do you think? Elastic or inelastic? Price elasticity of demand for electricity, elastic or inelastic? That means greater than 1 or less than 1. Elastic or inelastic? Tell me. And why? What is your answer? Hello? What is your answer? Elastic or inelastic?
Inelastic.
Inelastic. Good. Why is that? Electricity is yes, why is that? Tell me, my friend. Why is that? You are right. Why is that? It is inelastic. You are right. Why is that? Necessity. Electricity is a necessity. There is no close substitute for that one. You can say there are electric substitute, but still in the household sector, there is no close substitute. In the case of necessity, when price increases, consumers won't cut down the demand by that much. That means inelastic demand. Inelastic demand. So this is a necessity. When the price of electricity increases by 10%, consumers might cut down demand by only 0.2%, 0.3%, highly inelastic. Even in the short run, in the long run, again they come back to this initial level. That is the nature of this necessity. Rice. When the price of rice increases by 10%, consumers won't cut down their demand that much, consumption that much. They can't do that. Inelastic demand. Inelastic demand. Now we have set, price elasticity of demand for electricity is inelastic, less than 1. Second part of the question, if CB increases the price of electricity, demand is inelastic. When the CB increases price of electricity, what would happen to consumer expenditure increases? Why is that? When electricity board increase the price, consumers won't cut down their demand that much. Therefore, obviously, consumer expenditure increases. Consumer expenditure means it's a producer's revenue, CB's revenue. CB revenue also increases. That is the answer to that one. Demand inelastic, consumer expenditure increases when the electricity board increases the price of electricity. Next question. Suppose that the demand and supply of crude oil in 2002 given by QD equals 85 minus 0.4 px and supply QS 55 plus 0.6 px. Yeah, QD, QS are quantity demanded and supplied of crude oil in millions of barrels per day. And px is the price of crude oil in dollars per barrel. Find the equilibrium price and quantity. Very easy. What is the equilibrium price and quantity? Tell me if you calculated, what is the price? Price of electricity, what is the dollars per barrel? If someone has calculated, what is the price? It's very easy. What is the price? Have you calculated? Girls, have you calculated? What is the price? Equilibrium price. At equilibrium, QD equals QS. Simple equation of P. Price. 30. Very good. Equilibrium price is $30 per barrel. That is in 2003, 2002, right? Now, what is the price of oil these days? Anyone can remember? Because of the COVID 2020, price of the crude oil went down to 30, even 24. Now it is rising 74, 75, 80 dollars per barrel. Right? Price of oil, crude oil, those days, 2002, it was 30. Quantity demanded, you substitute this 30 into one of these equations, either to demand or the supply equation. 85 minus 0.4 px. Px is 30. When you substitute that, what is the quantity? Yes? 0.4 into 30 equals 12. Change sign plus 85. 73. Correct? 73. 73 is the quantity. Now we can draw the supply demand curve, right? Point 4. The case. Quantity of oil. Price of oil is dollars per barrel. This is million barrel. Million barrel. Millions of barrels. Set price 30, quantity I think 70, how much? 73, no? Tell me what is QD? I don't have this. QD equals what? QD equals, let me show. QD equals 85 minus 0.4. US equals 55 plus. Yes, right. This you calculated. Now, if you substitute 30 into one of these equation, quantity demanded equals 85 minus 0.4, 30. 30. That means 85 minus 12. 73. Same answer. If you have substitute px 30 here, then 55 plus 18, 73. Okay. These are the D. Yes. Now this is the point. Right. Can you see the board? Yes. Now what happened? 2002, 2003. US bombed Iraq. US bombed Iraq because the reason was that remember that those days the Al Qaeda issue was there. Then US bombed Iraq. What was the impact of world oil prices by the invasion of Iraq by US in early 2003? Assume that Iraq was producing 2.5 millions of barrels per day. Iraq production was 2.5 million barrels per day. And the war immediately disrupted this supply. All these oil fields were bombed. The total production came to zero. The world oil at that time, just before this attack, world oil demand and supply was 73. Now what will happen? Yes, bombed Iraq. This world oil production went down by 2.5 million barrels. 2.5 million barrels. Well, what would be the new supply? New supply would be how much? Or the demand? New supply 73 minus 2.5. 70.5. 70.5. This will come down to 70.5. 70.5. Demand same. Demand curve same. Well, demand same. But supply curve shifts up. Because of this, the US, the invasion of oil fields by US. Supply curve shifts, conditions change. Supply curve shifts up. Supply curve shifts up to this one. SS to S1. Now what will happen? New supply, new world oil supply would be how much? 70.5. 70.5. It decreases. Why is 70.5? 73 minus 2.5. Now, new oil price was this one. Question asks, what will be the price of oil? Price of oil. Initial equilibrium E, new equilibrium E1. Supply curve shifts. What is the new price? New price. We don't know the new supply curve. We don't know the equations, but we know the equation demand curve. Demand curve, then what you do? You substitute 70.5 into this demand equation. 70.5. Quantity will be 70.5. Then you can calculate the price. If you know the supply curve, we can calculate. Supply curve we don't know mathematically. Mathematical equation we know demand. World demand is same. Because of this attack, supply curve shifts up. Total supply 70.5. Now we substitute 70.5 into this quantity demanded. Quantity demanded equals same, no? 85 minus 0.4 px. New demand or the new quantity is 70.5 equals 85. New price we don't know. Now what will happen? To take 20.44 px this side, 85 minus 70.5. Yes, 70.5. Yes, 14.5. 14.5. 14.5. 0.4 figures. Px equals 14.5 divided by 0.4. 14.5. Calculation, if you are not correct, please tell me. 14.5.
36.25.
Yes, how much? 36.25. Correct. You are right. 36.25. 36.25. So this new price will be 36.25. Understand? Understand? Calculation. Initial equilibrium, you simply demand equals supply. You calculate. After that, condition change. Huge shock to the world oil production. US bombed Iraq. Then what happened? Total 2.5, Iraq was producing 2.5 million barrels of oil, a million barrels per day. Completely burned out. Supply decreased from world oil price, oil production dropped from 73 to 573 by 2.5. This is 2.5. 2.5. Come to 70.5. Demand same. Same demand. Then what will happen? Supply curve shift. World supply shift. You want to calculate this price? How do you calculate? You substitute this into the demand curve. Okay. If you know supply curve, you can calculate, but supply curve we don't know. Demand curve. Then that's the world oil price increased to 36.2. Right. Now I can ask the similar questions. On the world oil prices because of this due to the shock in COVID. COVID shock came from COVID. Which side of the oil market was affected by COVID? Which side of the oil market was affected by COVID? So there are two sides, no? Supply side or the demand side? Demand or the supply? Initially, demand or the supply? COVID, yes. Tourism dropped, export dropped. So the import-export trade, international trade dropped. So what happened to the, which side of the oil market affected? Demand side or the supply side? Tell me.
Demand.
Demand. Good. Because the world oil demand came down. Now in this case, supply shifted. Supply curve shifted. Now in this case, what happened? Because the COVID 2019, 20, mid-20, oil price went down to around $30 per barrel. Same story, but different the structure of the oil market. This price dropped. It was around the 70s. COVID shock came from COVID. Demand dropped. Demand curve shifts. Demand curve shift down. Shift to the left. Demand curve shift to the left. As a result, supply same. Demand, because the supply was not disrupted. No, COVID did not bomb. No, COVID did not disrupted the oil production. No, supply same. All the countries were willing to supply the same supply. Then demand came down. Now using this basic framework, you can analyze what happened to happened to the oil market due to the COVID. I'll draw that again. But these are the questions that can be asked in the exam. Now we can draw a diagram, oil market. These are the another shock, demand side shock. Quantity, the oil, millions barrel. Price of oil, dollars per barrel. Let's assume that this price was initial price, pre-COVID price. Pre-COVID price was 70. I can't remember. The 70. ED. Yes. Now what will happen? COVID came. Demand for oil came down. Why is that? Mobilization of people, travel dropped, international trade dropped, tourism dropped. Countries, every country, they were fighting with COVID, but not with trade or the import-export trade. Middle East remittances dropped. Demand for oil decreased. Demand cost shift down. What happened? Oil price of oil came to this point. Demand cost shift. Demand. Initial production, new production. Right. This is the COVID impact of COVID. This is impact of Iraq war. Middle East war. Two shocks. Now these are the shocks. Analysis of shock. How do we analyze the given shock and illustrate this shock using our demand supply framework? That's why these demand and supply curves are very important. Very important. If you are familiar with this, if you are conversant of this the framework, you can easily analyze. Always you think of in terms of demand and supply shock. What will happen? That is the thing. If it is a dollar market, now these days, let's say quantity of dollars and price of dollar exchange rate. Now these days, now this one, okay, demand side, it's a different diagram. Now you can understand how to analyze a demand side shock and the supply side shock. This is the supply side shock, the demand side shock. Now what happened? What is happening now? Nowadays, this is COVID, this is pre-COVID, that's in 2019 to 2020. Now what will happen? 21, this demand curve is gradually rising now. Demand is rising. We come to this point. Sometimes more than that. It is rising. Now it is Demand curve is shifting to the right. Demand is rising. As a result, who knows? It will come to this point. Right? That's it. Please understand that. That's why I today morning I just want to finish this diagram. COVID, impact of COVID and impact. Now nowadays, what happened? People, economies are picking up. Tourism gradually to increase. Tourism increase. Tourist industry is picking up, especially European countries. Now people want to move. People, their holiday plans. They are sticking to the holiday plan, new holiday plans. The people in Great Britain, they go to Europe, Spain, Barcelona, and then spend 2 weeks time, come back. Like that, gradually tourism picking up. Italy, Greece, Spain, because those countries heavily depend on tourist earnings, tourism. Heavily depend on. That's why they always want to encourage. But there's another problem, but in those countries now, France, there are some people riots. People are now so huge objection, demonstrations. Why is that? Now in France, they are going to impose some restrictions if you coming to the pub or the some restaurant or the golf club, coffee shop. Now they are the shop owners should ask your health pass. What is health pass? You should show them. Okay, I have done this COVID. I am free of. I have taken both injections, vaccines. So I am free of COVID. Health pass. But the people don't like that. People are demonstrating, oh, this is very unfair things. Please remove. But government is going to impose that in August or September period. Then we have to say no. Should be otherwise. Those countries, some huge resistance to this taking the vaccine. Some people say no, we don't want. We are fully fit. Our immune system is quite good. We don't want. So that. The resistance is the hesitance of taking vaccines. Some group, the huge percentage of some considerable percentage of population don't want to get the vaccine. So various reasons. Sometimes they think side effects. Therefore, sometimes they might think it's your job, it's your life. We should not get. Sometimes they are scared of taking injection, right? So many things, but safe side, getting vaccine is the best option. Some people say that it is not effective, 6 months, 3 months, again you have to take third one. No, take the vaccine. First moment, the moment you are allowed to take the vaccine, that is my advice. Now most of the governments they advise, right? So it is safe side. The other thing is, if you go abroad, even the South Asian countries, China or India, sometimes they might ask for health pass. You are in trouble. If you go to Mecca or some Indian tourism or the China or some other, if they ask health pass, finish. You can't go. This might be the case in future. In future, countries might impose restrictions on it might in restriction visa requirement they might make that as a visa requirement for visas, right? In addition to the financial viability or the other things, right? Okay, right. Now this is a very important question. Please understand these two diagrams, right? Now we will move to the right. We finish these two questions. please understand. I think we have already completed. Now, any questions about this assignment? Because this is a very important assignment. Quiz. Right. Now we will move to today's lesson. That is theory of consumer behavior. Theory of consumer behavior. Right. Theory of consumer behavior. Right. Now in economics, we said there are two important division of the subject: microeconomics and macroeconomics. Microeconomics study the behavior of individual consumer, producer, market. Macroeconomics is concerned with the behavior of economic aggregates, gross domestic product, balance of payment, government budget, then the inflation rate, unemployment rate, macro issues. In macroeconomics, we see the economy through a telescope. You can see only big things. In microeconomics, we see the economy through a microscope. Small thing can be seen. But in both these subjects, micro and macro, whether it is a micro or macro, there are a large number of models. It's a subject is a large number of models, consist of modeling the behavior of a consumer, modeling of behavior of a producer, modeling of a perfect competition, modeling of the monopoly, modeling of oligopoly. Similarly, modeling of national income, modeling of exchange rate model, modeling of an open economy. Like that, it's a collection of large number of models are studied in a micro or macro. Then the question is, what is a model? Economic model. In economy, when you say model, right? In normal sense, layman's language, modeling is, you know the modeling, right? Both the modeling, for the males and females modeling, that is familiar. But in economics also the modeling is there. What is modeling in theory of consumer behavior, theory of firm, theory of supplier, theory of a market, theory of oligopoly, theory of perfect competition, like that. A model is like a street map. Street map. What is a street map? Think of the going from Colombo to the Anuradhapura. If you don't have GPS, one of the remote villages in Anuradhapura, right? Nowadays, of course, if you drive, you take your phone and get the GPS, and without asking anybody, without looking at getting help from another person or the police or somebody else, you can drive, just drive. The GPS will guide you. That's one of the advantages of the latest technological advantage. Right? But before GPS, we use street map. Street map. What is a street map? In the street map, Colombo, there are main roads are there. Then beside those things, you have these main cities: Colombo, the Kadawatha, Nitambua, Varakapala, then Kegol, Mavanella, Kadugannawa, Peradeniya, then Kandy. Kandy, let's say we're going from Colombo to Kandy. So in this street map, there are small restaurants, eating places are there, right? If you, some big shop, you can see that. But in the street map, you don't give the small boutiques where the small boutiques are there. Sometimes you be the police station, you can see the police station, but in the street map, there are sometimes religious places are given, but very small boutiques, you don't. Resting places, they don't give that. In other words, street map, but it's a very good approximation. You can using a street map, you can travel from Colombo to the Kandy. We know what are the main towns you have to pass, right? Where are the eating places, restaurants are there, still located, right? But you don't know small things. It's a good approximation to the street map, is an approximation to the reality, actual situation, reality. Street map. So economic model is also, we try to explain the behavior of a consumer. How does the consumer behave when he purchases things? What factors he consider, right? What are the market constraints he has to face? Like that, it's an approximation to the actual behavior. We want to explain this how a consumer in a free enterprise economic system behave. This how a supplier in the free enterprise economic system behave. These are the objectives. These are the market constraint. Then what he is going to do. So economic model is a theory, or the model is approximation to the reality. Always I use approximation. Approximation. It is not the ideally 100% perfect thing, like street map. So I'm telling so many things about these theories, the modeling, theory of consumer behavior, because it's a collection of models. Next lesson we are going to do theory of, after that theory of market. After that, the theory of labor market, theory of goods market, theory of factor market. Right. Theory, approximation to the reality. It is not 100% accurate. 100% accurate thing. We don't want 100%. Street map is okay. No? You can go. Even GPS doesn't show all these small points. Right. To take main road is there, by roads are there. Main towns are there, that's enough. If you want, you can check where the police station, where the restaurants are there. But very small, minor details are not there. Approximation. But that's enough. You can explain, you can travel, you can achieve your target. Like that, theory of consumer. In this lesson, we are going to explain how does a consumer in a free enterprise economic system, no government, free enterprise economic system behave. How does a consumer take decision with regard to purchases of goods or service, when he demand goods and services? It's a model, very nice model, right? Now then there are when you develop the theory, there are various components of the theory. Then we ask, consumer, what is the objective of a consumer? Objective of a consumer. Objective of consumption. Why do people consume? Why do people consume? Objective is must. If you want to have a theory, a model, objective is one. What is the objective of a consumer? What is the purpose of living? Sometimes people ask, why do you live? What is the purpose? Object of living. Object of consumer. Then we ask, okay, objective, once you define this objective, that is a very important part. After that, you ask, okay, to achieve this objective target, are there any constraints? Obviously, our money is not enough, no? Prices you cannot control, no? What are the constraints? Third part, you ask this in model, then how does person achieve that target objective if you have some constraints? Understand? Very simple. The component. First, the objective you define. Second, you discuss the market constraint, restrictions. Third, you complete the model, close the model. Okay, this is how a consumer behave, achieve the objective when he faces market constraint. We complete close the model. You explain fully, everything is explained. You complete that picture, complete picture. Objective of a consumer. Object of a consumption. Consumption. We eat, we drink, we sleep, we play, we watch. These days we watch Olympic, right? Today morning also I watch Olympic. There's a track field. Track events are very interesting. 100 meters, 200 meters, 800 meters, 100 meters, 2-3 heats were there. I don't know what is the final. Now Usain Bolt is not there. 100 meters record holder, 9:58, 100 and 200 meter, the world record holder. Usain Bolt is now getting married. Now he has got 2 twins. Now he's out of the field. Now the thing is, what next? Now most of these people say Usain Bolt, the caliber person is not competing, right? So therefore we watch, we drink, we sleep. What is the object of a consumption of good or service? Tell me. Why do we consume? We consume goods, consume services. Why? What is the objective? Tell me. Yes, you can. Why do we drink? Why do we eat? Why do we sleep? Why do you watch TV? Why do you watch the teledramas? Lots of Indian teledramas are there. Then why? Reason? Objective is first objective. Why? Tell me. What is the reason? Why do we consume? What is the objective of consumption? What is the final target? Yes? Tell me. Hello? Can you hear me first? Can you hear me? Sorry?
Fulfilling our needs and wants.
Fulfill the
Needs and wants.
needs and now I am asking, why do we want to fulfill the needs and wants? What is the objective? Why do we do that? We sleep, we drink, we visit friends, right? Why is that? What is the reason? What is the reason? Fulfill the needs and wants. What is the purpose of completing? Final objective of fulfilling these needs and wants? I'm asking, you know what my question? Understand? Why? Why do you are right? But why do people consume? Why do you eat? Why do you drink? Why do you play? Why do you watch TV? Why? Why do you take haircuts? Why? What is the reason? Consumption. Consumption of good or consumption of service. What is the purpose? Consumer's point of view, what is the purpose of consumption? Objective of consumption. Tell me. Tell me. Yes? Any other answer? You know the answer. What is that? Why is that? Tell me. Boys, can you answer? Tell me. Why do you eat? Right? Why do you drink? Why do you watch TV? Yes? Tell me. Hello? Why do you drink? Why do you eat? Tell me. Hello? Brother, this is a basic thing. I always ask this question in my classes. People give very interesting the answers, very interesting answers. Then
Self-satisfaction.
Sorry?
Self-satisfaction.
Self-satisfaction. Satisfaction. You gave a very important point. Satisfaction. Sometimes people say survival. We eat, we drink for survival. Then I ask the question, why do you watch TV? Why do you watch Olympic? It's for survival? No. Basically, objective of consumption is the satisfaction. Satisfaction. In economics, we have a special name, technical name for this one, utility. To derive some utility, to derive certain satisfaction. Utility is the technical term for the satisfaction in economics. Right? So we want to get utility. We derive utility, we consume. We eat, we drink, we sleep, we watch TV. Utility. All the human activities. Earlier we said there's an opportunity cost of all human activities, any activity. But here also, all the consumption activity has some objective to get some utility. Getting married, utility. Working, being employed, utility. right? That's all. That's all. Utility, satisfaction. Okay, now we have set the objective of a consumption in the very important stage one of this theory. The objective of consumption is to get some utility. Then constraints. Are we facing constraints? Yes, our budget is the constraint, market constraint. Prices, consumers, we are talking about consumers. Consumers cannot control the prices in a free enterprise economic system. They are already determined by the market forces, right? Powerless. Consumers are powerless. Consumers cannot change the prices. Prices are given. Consumers are price takers. Consumers cannot also has no control over their income. This month 50,000, next month 50,000, next year maybe sometimes you are getting some the increment, but more or less your income is fixed. Income you cannot control. Prices you cannot control. In other words, budget you cannot control. Budget is the constraint. Now we have two things. In the theory of consumer behavior, first we asked what is the objective of consumption? We said utility. We have some utility. Second thing, does the consumer face some constraint, market constraint? Yes, he faces budgetary constraints. Then the third stage we ask, okay, then how does the consumer achieve utility, maximize utility? If you want to get the maximum utility subject to this market constraint. Now in the theory of consumer behavior, this is the consumer's problem in the market economy, free enterprise economic system. How does the consumer, how does an individual achieve the maximum satisfaction subject to this budget constraint? We all do that. When you go to shop to buy a pair of shoes, we have limited income. Then we are the maximize, select things, get the pair of shoes that maximum is utility subject to my budget. Consumers are utility maximizers. Utility maximizers subject to budget. Right? That is the basic framework of this theory of consumer behavior. Consumers are utility maximizers. Utility maximizers they maximize utility subject to their budget. Okay. Now we are going to discuss next slide. What is utility? Can we measure utility? Right? If you cannot measure utility, what can consumer do? Okay. Now in the theory, first part we discuss utility. Second part we discuss budget. Third part we discuss how does the consumer maximize utility subject to budget. This theory. Now in this theory there are two approaches. Two approaches means the theory of consumer behavior attempts to answer the questions. How does the consumer allocate incomes to the purchase of different goods and services? Right? In detail, how does the consumer, when you allocate income to get the utility, to maximize utility subject to a budget? Simple question is that how do you allocate income to purchase different goods and services? But then we discuss why do you allocate income? Why do you consume? Due to their utility. Then maximum utility, maximum satisfaction. Then how does a consumer get the maximum satisfaction subject to your budget? You are facing budget. There are three approaches to answer this question: marginal analysis and indifference curve analysis. This marginal analysis assumes that utility can be measured. Consumer satisfaction can be measured. When you eat one chocolate, satisfaction units 10. 2 chocolates, satisfaction unit 15. 3 chocolates, second satisfaction unit 17. Like that. Utility is measurable. That is called cardinal measure of utility. Marginal analysis assumes utility is measurable. Cardinal measure of utility. But the indifference curve analysis assumes no. Utility cannot be measured. But consumer rank different bundles according to his preference. I like the apple to oranges. oranges to bananas. Like that, he can rank different bundles, different goods. So that is called the ordinal measure of utility. The first part we discussed utility now. Utility now. Marginal analysis approach assumes utility is cardinal. Indifference curve analysis assumes indifference of the utility is ordinal. Order. Consumer can order different bundles of goods. The marginal analysis or classical approach is based on the concept of utility. Utility is the satisfaction the consumer receives from consuming goods or service. It assumes that utility can be measured, underline that, or cardinal measure of utility. The indifference curve analysis is based on the idea that consumer could rank or different order the consumption of different goods according to his taste or preference. Order, ordinal measure of utility. Working at Vellavatta branch, working at Petta branch. Two situations, consuming two services. Satisfaction getting working at Vellavatta branch, satisfaction, job satisfaction getting working at Petta branch. If you ask someone can say, in the indifference curve approach, he says, I prefer to work Vellavatta to Petta. Another possible answer is, I prefer to work Petta to Vellavatta. Oh, I don't mind. I am indifferent. Something like that, right? So, you don't give the utility. Working Vellavatta, I am getting 1,000 utils. Working at the Colombo, you are getting the 500 utils. I am getting, no. We don't measure. That is marginal analysis. Indifference curve analysis rank different bundles. Apple is preferred to bananas. Banana is preferred to the oranges, like that. Indifference curve. So two approaches. But basically objective is to get utility, maximum utility. Okay. First we will discuss marginal analysis. My utility. Now in utility, satisfaction, you have two concepts. Marginal total satisfaction or the total utility, and marginal satisfaction, marginal utility. What is the difference? Total. Suppose a consumer, take one example. Suppose a consumer eats 5 oranges. The total satisfaction he gets from this is called total utility. Total satisfaction. He eats 5 oranges. Total utility. Suppose he now consumes an extra orange, 6th one. The extra satisfaction he gets from consuming this orange is called the marginal utility of the 6th orange. Let's assume first 5 oranges gives him 100 utils. When he eats 6th orange, total utility is 120. Initial 5 oranges, 100. Next you eat another 6th orange. The 6 oranges gives him 120. What is the marginal utility of the 6th orange? 20. Change in total utility. All 5, initial 5 gives him 100 utils, satisfaction. Next, all 6 gives him 120 utils, satisfaction. Therefore, marginal utility of the 6th orange, last orange, is the 20. 120 minus 100. Marginal utility. You know the difference between total utility and the marginal utility. Total utility and marginal. I'll give a very interesting example for this one. Total utility and marginal utility. To understand this, you can have. First, we define that. Total utility and marginal utility definition. Marginal utility is defined as the extra utility. When you say utility, it is satisfaction. Layman's language. Obtained from a small unit change in the consumption of a given good or service. What is marginal utility? Delta TU divided by delta Q. Actually, this line comes to the middle of this delta TU divided by delta Q. If you have got a printout, please change that. Delta TU divided by delta Q. Or TU2 minus TU1 divided by Q2 minus Q1. My example, 120 minus 100 divided by 6 minus 5. 120 is the 6th orange, all 6, 120, all 5, 100. 120 minus 100 divided by 6 minus 5. 1. That is 20. 120 minus 100 is 20. Divided by 6 minus 5 is 1. 20 divided by 1 is 20. Right? Now, this example is to understand the difference between total utility and marginal utility. Textbook example, very interesting. You can understand the difference between total satisfaction and marginal satisfaction. Read these these situations. Read first. Read that. First one. Two situations, two choices are given to the consumer. Consumer is there in the first, this one. What do you prefer? What do you like? Second options, again, same consumer, we ask two questions. If consumers were asked to choose between giving up completely, either consumption of water, don't consume, you are not allowed to consume, choice between giving up consumption of water or visiting the Facebook. Most would choose to give up visits to the Facebook. Why is that? Well, water is essential. Total utility is water is much higher than total utility of FB. If you ask you to stop drinking, to consuming water and stop consuming visiting the Facebook, definitely all the consumers might say no, Facebook I don't want, but I will go for I can't stop drinking water. Why is that? Total utility of water, consumption of water is higher than total utility of consumption of the visiting the Facebook. That is about the total utility. See the second one. Can you read? Now another situation. We give two options to him, but different way, quantities. Suppose now they were asked to choose between having an extra 1,000 liters of water per week. Remember? Earlier one, complete consumption of water. Now you say, okay, choose between extra 1,000 liters of water per week, 1,000 liters, or 1 extra hour visit per week to the FB. Same consumer, we say, okay. We give you an extra 1,000 liters of water or extra 1 hour FB. What do you prefer? Then consumer is puzzled. You can't predict. Earlier one, definitely predict. You can predict. Consumption of water, I can't stop. I need water. Total consumption of water is higher than the total consumption of FB. Now this time is a bit peculiar, confusing. It depends on what? It depends on marginal utility of water and marginal utility of the FB. Marginal utility of 1,000 liters of water and marginal utility of extra hour, 1 hour visit of FB. Different consumers will have different answers. If for me, if the extra 1,000 liters of water, marginal utility of 1,000 liters of water, 1,000 is higher than extra hours of the marginal utility of FB extra hour, I will definitely say 1,000 liters of water is more important than 1 extra hours FB. Another consumer might say, he's very much addicted, he doesn't care about the water, his 1 hour extra FB is much more important. Marginal utility of much higher than extra 1,000 liters of water. That's why it is predictable. It's different consumers have different options. Why that? Your marginal utility matters. For me, marginal utility of water is higher than the marginal utility of FB. For you, another consumer, marginal utility of FB might be higher than marginal utility of water. Then he will go for FB. These two observations help you to understand the difference between total utility and marginal utility. First observation is to understand the difference between totals. Second example is to understand difference between marginal. Okay. Now another example. Now these days, unlike those days, 1980s, 90s, we can't give you a beggar 50 cents, 50 cents, 10 cents, 5 cents. 70s, 60s, not like that, 50 cents, 1 rupee even, right? You can't give you. Minimum he expect 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 5 rupees. Most of the beggars, right? 50 cents, 10 cents. But in 1960s, 10 cents is definitely accept. Now these 10 cents, they won't accept. He will put another 40 cents and give back, you keep this 50 cents. Why is that? What is the reason? They don't accept 10 cents, 50 cents. Why that? Marginal utility of 10 rupees very much low. Marginal utility of 10 cents is very low. But in 1960s, marginal utility of 10 cents is very high. They will keep definitely. Nowadays, they don't keep that. Marginal utility, understand? Marginal utility example. Marginal utility example. Right? Over time, marginal utility decreasing. This is happening. In most of the cases, this is happening. Total utility might be increasing, but marginal utility of consumption decreasing. Marginal utility of consumption decreasing. Every day, every day. Suppose you eat rice and curry, rice and dal, rice and fish, rice and fish, rice and fish today, tomorrow, rice and fish, day after tomorrow, rice and fish. Rice, fish and dal, rice, fish and dal for a meal. Then what will happen? Over time, marginal utility of that menu decreases. Marginal utility of consumption decreases. You might ask mother, Amma, every day I can't eat fish every day. Nothing new, I can't eat. Right? That will happen. Marginal utility of consumption, any activity decreases over time. Or if you increase the consumption of a good or service, marginally decreases. Very normal behavior. Think about any activity, marginally decreases. Right? Okay. Now I am going to quantify this one. Total utility and marginal utility. Total utility, quantity consumption 0, total utility 0. First 1 unit, total utility 20. 2 units, 2 oranges, total utility 35. 3 oranges, total satisfaction 45. 4 oranges, total utility satisfaction 50. Like that, 10 oranges, total satisfaction 53. Can you calculate marginal utilities of the first unit? Marginal utility of the first unit means 20 minus 0, change in total utility, divided by 1 minus 0. Remember, change in total utility, 20 minus 0 divided by 1 minus 0, 20. Marginal utility of the first unit is 20. Marginal utility of the second unit, how much? Tell me. Second unit, how much? First unit, 20. 2 units, 35. What is the marginal utility of the last unit, second unit? How much? Tell me. How much? How much? Marginal utility of the second unit? Second unit, 2 units, 35. First unit, 20. I am asking what is the marginal utility of the second unit, last unit? How much?
15.
15. How do you get the answer? 35 minus 20 divided by 2 minus 1. It is also 1. No? 35 minus 20. Delta TU. 35 minus 20 divided by delta Q. 2 minus 1. 15. Third unit. 45 minus 35. 10. Divided by 3 minus 2. 10. Marginal utility of the third unit is 10. Fourth unit, 50 minus 45 divided by 3 minus 4, 5. Can you complete this table? Complete this table quickly. Complete the above table. Complete the above table. Right? Complete the above table. 20, 15, 10, 5, then 3, then 2, then 1, 56 minus 55. 56 minus 56 is 0. 55 minus 50 is negative. Minus 1. 53 minus 55 minus the 2. Because the denominator is always 1. No? 3, 4 minus 3, 5 minus 4, 6 minus 5, like that. Delta Q 1. So the formula is this. No? PU2 minus TU1 divided by Q2 minus Q1. That's why that's formula we use. For the 7 to 8 marginal utility, 56 minus 55 divided by 7 minus 6, like that. Marginal utility. Now you can see we have the two rows. Total utility row, marginal utility row. We have quantity consumption also, 0 to 10. What will happen to the total utility? Total utility increases. Consumption 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 10. X-axis consumption, Y-axis total utility. 20, 35, 45, 50, 53, 55, 56, 56, 55, 53. Up to this point, up to 8th unit, it increases. 7th unit increases, total utility increases, come to the maximum 56 and then decreases. 10th unit, 53. Total utility increases, come to the maximum and then decreases. Think about 1 chocolate, 2 chocolates, 3 chocolates, 4 chocolates, 5 chocolates. What will happen? Total utility increases, come to a maximum point, 10 chocolates, 7 chocolates, you can't eat. Then 8, 9, 10 chocolate, utility decreases. Disutility, dissatisfaction, utility decreases. Draw the TU and MU curves. X-axis, the Q axis, Y-axis, TU. Then another MU curve, X-axis, quantity, marginal utility. Marginal utility you can see 20, 15, 10, 5, 3, 2, 1. See, marginal utility continuously diminishes when you increase the consumption. You take the two curves, you can draw the two curves. Curves like this, like this. I want to draw that curve. Quantity 1 to 10. Total utility. TU, you can see the TU. Total utility, you don't consume, 0 total utility. Then it comes to maximum point here. Increases. 8 minutes same, then after that decreases. Something like that. $53. Total utility curve, TU. 20, 35, 45, like that you can plot this. Marginal utility curve. Marginal utility curve, I can draw that below that. Marginal utility curve. 10 quantity, this is quantity. Marginal utility. Marginal utility, if you plot this, marginal utility 20, 20, then 15, 10, 5, like that decreases. 7, 8, 0, then negative, minus 3, minus 2. Marginal utility curve is like that. Something like that. Marginal utility curve. MU curve, TU curve. When consumer increase the consumption, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, up to 10. Quantity. If you increase the consumption, total utility increases. At a decreasing rate, come to the maximum point, then decreases. Total utility increases at a decreasing rate and then decreases. Marginal utility continuously decreases. First chocolate, second chocolate, third chocolate, first orange, second orange, third orange, fourth orange, fifth orange. It will come to 0, marginal utility 0 here, then negative. Right? That is in terms of mathematics, mathematical curves. This is the behavior of two curves. Total utility increases, attain the maximum, decreases. But the marginal utility of the last unit continuously diminishes. Right? Okay. Now I will go to this. Now you can draw this. Draw the TU and MU curves. We drew that. Explain the behavior of a TU and MU curve. Explain. Total utility increases, attain the maximum point and then decreases. It increases at a decreasing rate, diminishing rate. Attain the maximum and then decreases. Marginal utility eventually diminishes. Now what will happen? The shape of the marginal utility curve is explained by a law. Very important law in economics. A fundamental law in economics. Universal law in economics. Very important law. What is this law? The law is called the law of diminishing marginal utility. The law of diminishing marginal utility. What does that mean? When a consumer increase the consumption of a good or service, the marginal utility, not the total utility, marginal utility eventually diminishes. That's very interesting term, important term. Eventually diminishes. Eventually diminishes. It might increase initially, but eventually diminishes. It might increase eating a chocolate. First chocolate, second chocolate, marginal utility of the first chocolate, second chocolate increases, but marginal utility of the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth eventually diminishes. Drinking beer, drinking alcohol. The parties, normal parties, people drink. Then first glass of beer, glass of whiskey, second, third, it might increase initially, but fifth, sixth, seventh, marginal utility of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you don't know what you are doing. Right? Might increase. That time this eventual term is important. It might increase initially, but decreases. Obviously decreases. It might eventually term is important. Initially it might increase. So when you asked you to draw this, when in the examination, if you ask to write the law of diminishing marginal utility, you have to say the marginal utility of consumption eventually diminishes. Not always, you won't say always, eventually diminishes. That means it might increase. You give some allowance, it might increase. Think about the consumption of marginal utility might increase initially, but eventually diminishes. That is the law of diminishing marginal utility. Now, this we have to spend some time now about this, because the concepts, laws are related to normal life. You can understand. It's not a theory, is not a sacred thing, economic theory. Always, this theory has been developed by looking at the people's behavior. It's very close to this the people's behavior, real world. This law of diminishing marginal utility is a behavior of people. Think about any activity, drinking alcohol, drinking beer, consumption of food, consumption of chocolate. Same thing. Marginal utility eventually diminishes. Any action, any human action. For any human action, this you can apply. Marginal utility, reading a book, preparation for the examination. Suppose you have the paper on next Monday, not Monday, day after. Next week, Monday. Then you are working hard, working, reading, the burning midnight oil, the sleepless nights, right? But marginal utility of study decreases, right? So that's why even examination should start when you are at a maximum point of the total utility. Marginal utility at the maximum point at that point. Otherwise, diminishes, right? Reading, studying, working at in the bank about 10 years. First year, second year, third year, fourth year, if you're in the same branch, same counter, same the section, marginal utility diminishes. Marginal utility of first day, second day, third day, first year, second year, third year diminishes. Why do people change governments? Just after the election, you have so many hopes. The election manifestos are very nice. So people have lots of expectations, right? People think they might do everything next year. Then what will happen? People get disappointed. First year, second year, disappointed with the marginal utility of the government, helping the government, diminishes, marginal utility diminishes. Then after 5 years, 6 years time, when election comes, they decided to change the government. They will decide to change the government, right? Marginal utility of marriage, right? First year, just after the marriage, first year, very high marginal utility, you have so many hopes. Then marriage, second year, fourth year, fifth year, second year, the babies are coming, 1 baby, 2 baby, 3 babies coming. Then there are educational problems, marginal utility of marriage diminishes, right? Unless you have new activities. You go abroad, you have some picnics, family pictures, family gatherings, so many things you do, so many things not to drop this marginal utility. Birthday parties, Father's Day, Mother's Day. These are the things give some shocks to the family life, right? Not to stop diminishing the marginal utility, right? But sometimes what will happen? Sometimes some people might say, okay, now enough is enough. We can't live together. We want to divorce. Marginal utility of family life diminishes. Then they want to separate. This is theory, whole economic theory, right? Whether it is good or bad, nothing else. But marginal utility, there are marginal utility of diminishing marginal utility applicable to all the events in the life. That's why, if you understand that, it's very interesting to learn the subject, marginal utility. Now, for example, we started this course, this lesson today at 10:30. Everybody came, 10:15. Marginal utility the first 15 minutes. Marginal utility second 15 minutes, third 15 minutes, fourth 15 minutes, fourth 15 minutes. Then, I don't know what you are doing now. You might be sleeping now. I can't see you, I can't watch you. But we're sleeping. Marginal utility diminishes, come to 0. If I continue further, marginal utility will be negative. The law of diminishing marginal utility is a fundamental law in economics. It is applicable to almost all the human activities, production of or distribution, investment of all the activities. Very important law in economics. Very important law in economics, right? Marginal utility diminution. Does the MU curve follow the law at D? Yes. If you plot this curve, you can see diminishing marginal utility. Remember, you can ask drinking beer, drinking alcohol, marriage life, working, marginal utility initially increases. That's true. First year, second year increases. Eventually diminishes. Okay, that is the theory. Now, still we are discussing about the utility. Types of utility, two concepts of utility, satisfaction. Why do we speak that? Why do you study that? Because the objective of a consumption is to get utility. Then we ask, can utility be measured? If it is cardinal. If the utility cannot be measured, it is ordinal. Then what is total utility? What is marginal utility? Now we are exploring this concept, satisfaction. Final point is the state law of diminishing marginal utility, right? Now these are the two curves, total utility and marginal utility curve. You'll get the same types of curves, right? If you use the homework exam is the assignment, please derive the MU and MU marginal utility and draw this TU and MU curves. Draw TU and MU curves. In the physical class, I usually give 10 minutes to draw these two curves. But you all at home know, I don't know whether you are doing that. But this is an assignment. Please draw this TU and MU curves. How do you draw? Quantity axis 1 to 10, total utility. MU curve, total axis 1 to 10, marginal utility. MU, you have to calculate marginal utility. 20, 15, 10, 5 like that. Then marked, draw the curve. The law of diminishing marginal utility of consumption of any good or service eventually diminishes. I have underlined. Yes, we have 4 more time. You can. Now this is marginal approach. When TU is increasing, you can see when total utility is increasing, marginal utility positive and falling. Think about, we are going to compare these two curves. When total utility curve is rising, marginal utility positive but falling. When TU come to the maximum point, 56, marginal utility, second curve, 0. Marginal utility 0. When TU is at its maximum, MU 0. When TU is falling, 10 chocolate, 15 chocolate, 20, total utility decreasing, then marginal utility move to the negative side. Marginal utility will be negative. This is the relationship connection between TU and MU. When TU is rising, marginal utility falling, positive. When TU at maximum point, marginal utility 0. When TU is falling, marginal utility negative. Right? Theory. Remember the now again we want to initially we want to model the behavior of a consumer. Then we ask question, what is the object of a consumption? We said derive the utility, satisfaction. Then we ask, what are the characteristics of the utility? Can utility be measured? 2 answers, yes, no. If it is yes, we say utility is cardinal. No, we say utility is ordinal, ranked. Consumer can rank different bundles, order different bundles according to its utility. Then you have 2 theories. Assuming utility can be measured, marginal analysis. Assuming utility cannot be measured, ordinal analysis or the indifference curve analysis. Here we are discussing the marginal analysis First, the what is utility, what is marginal utility, what is law of marginal utility. Right? Okay. The basic assumption of marginal analysis is that consumer seeks to maximize total utility. Now, these are theory. I should have mentioned that at the beginning, but we discussed the basic introduction to this theory. I told you everything. However, the consumer needs to consider not just utility, but also the cost to the consumer of obtaining the utility. What is the consumer's cost? Income, prices. The cost depends on the prices and the quantities of the goods and its affordability to buy goods. Right? Budget constraint. The maximum utility, that's true. But he faces constraint. Budget. Think about you, your family, household. If you want to buy things, a good or service, a sari, a shirt, pair of shoes, skirt, then you always think about, okay, I have a limited budget. Limited budget may be the 100,000 or 200,000, but it's limited. So therefore, I want to get the maximum utility subject to my budget. Subject to the budget. That's all. Right? Budget. Maximum utility. If the consumer, well, this of course I discuss what and what if be this thing, yes. Now, basic question. Consumer want to get the maximum utility. He has some constraint, market constraint. Then the question is, how does the consumer, we call it optimize or maximize the utility subject to the budget? Utility maximizers subject to the budget. We are consumers, we all are utility maximizers subject to budget in terms of economics. In the theory, according to economic theory, we all are maximizers, utility maximizers subject to budget. Whether you buy a good or a service, you are utility maximizer subject to budget. That is called consumers optimal behavior, optimization. Maximize utility subject to budget, that is the optimization behavior, you maximize utility. Therefore, maximize the profit subject to cost. That is the optimal behavior for consumer, the firm. And the next model, next week, after this, we will discuss this model. Optimal behavior. Now, you have to decide. Maximize the utility subject to budget. What is the condition? This is the condition. Marginal analysis condition for utility maximization. How do we allocate our limited income? 50,000 rupees among goods. Now, in this case, we assume only two good economy. There are only two goods, X and Y. Right? So, how do we allocate our limited income between two goods? How does a consumer allocate limited income, these two goods, X and Y, so that to get the maximum utility? This is the condition. MUX over PX equals MUY over PY. In words, marginal utility of X divided by price of X equals marginal utility of Y divided by price of Y. This is the mathematical expression. How do I understand this? You allocate your income. This condition is satisfied. What does that mean? At the utility maximizing combination of bread and let's say rice, two goods. When you spend a rupee on rice, rupee on dal, marginal utility derived from that expenses same. If you spend a rupee on rice or spend rupee on dal, you get the same marginal utility at the utility maximizing combination. spend a rupee at the utility maximizing point. Spend a rupee on rice, same rupee on the dal. Both points give you same marginal satisfaction, same satisfaction of a rupee. Marginal satisfaction of a rupee on X, on Y, same. Then we said at that point you maximize the utility. Suppose you are getting, okay. Yeah. First we'll try this question. Application of this condition, right? Application of this condition. Quantity, MUX, two goods. There are two goods. MUY. First unit of X gives 22, but the first unit of Y gives him 90. Second unit of X gives him 20. Marginal utility, not the total utility. Second unit of Y gives him 17. Sixth unit of X gives the consumer 4 utils. Sixth unit gives the consumer of Y gives him 10, like that. Marginal utility. Price of X 2, price of Y 1. Consumers are price takers. Consumers cannot affect the market price. Market price 2 and 1 determined by the interaction between demand and supply. You are a price taker. You are a poor price taker. Income again 10. You cannot control that. Find the utility maximizing combination of X and Y. Now what is the condition? MUX over PX equals MUY over P1. That is the condition. That is the condition. Excuse me. Excuse me, I will copy down this the table first. Right. PX2. Right. These are the numbers. Quantity, I have written down those numbers vertically. Quantity 1 to 7, MUX 22 to 2, MUY 90 to 7. These are not total utility. Marginal utility of the first unit 22. Marginal utility of the second unit of X 20. Marginal utility of the third unit 16. Like that here also marginal utilities. Then first part they ask the now you can see law of diminishing marginal utility. When consumer increase the consumption, marginal utility diminishes. 22, 20, 16 marginal diminishes. When consumer increase the consumption of Y also, marginal utility diminishes. Law of diminishing marginal utility. Last unit. Utility of the last unit. PX2, PY1, I10. Right? Okay. Now, what is the condition? Condition is this: MUX over PX equals MUY over PY. This is the condition. We don't have, you have to calculate this. We have to calculate that. MUX over PX. MUY over PY. Two columns. Two new columns. What do you do? MUX over PX, 2. MUX 20 divided by 2. 16 divided by 2. PX is 2. 12 divided by 2. 10 divided by 2. 4 divided by 2. 2 divided by 2. Let 2. MUX over PX. 22 divided by 2. 11. 20 divided by 2. 10. 16 divided by 2. 8, like that. 6. 5. 2. 1. MUX over PX. MUY over PY. PY is 1. 19 divided by 1. 17 divided by 1. 9 divided by 1 is 19. 17 divided by 1. 17. 15. 13 divided by 1. 13. 12 divided by 1. 12. 10 divided by 1. 10. 7 divided by 1. 7. First question they ask, what is the utility maximizing combination of two goods, X and Y? Two goods. Now to calculate that, we have to apply the condition. What is the condition? MUX over PX equals, this is the condition. That's why we calculate these two. Now we want to get the 2 points, X and Y, consumption of X and Y that satisfy this condition. MUX over PX equals MUY over PY. Right? Okay, now let's see. MUX over PX, 10, 8, 6, 5, 2, 1. MUX over PY, 19, 7, 5, 13, 12, 10. So, 10 and 10. MUX over PX equals MUY over PY. Right? At this 10, what is X? X is 2. At this 10, what is Y? 6. Therefore, when consumer consumes 2 units of X, 6 units of Y, this condition is satisfied. MUX over PX 10, MUX over PX 10. Understand? So, utility maximizing combination is 2 of X and 6 of Y. 2 of X and 6 of Y. Mathematically, you know how to calculate that. 2 of X and 6 of Y. Right? He will consume 2X, 6 of Y. Second question, what is the total utility? Total utility is how to calculate? Utility of X equals 2 units of X plus total utility of Y equals 6. Utility coming from 2X, 6Y. When you add these two, you get the total satisfaction. 2 of X. What is the total utility? X 2 units, X 2 units, 2 units. What is total utility? First unit gives him 22. Second unit gives him 20. Therefore, sum is 42. This is 42. Plus 6 of Y. X 6, Y 6. 6. 6 means first unit 11. Sorry, first unit 19. 19 plus second unit of Y 17. Third unit 15. fifth unit, fourth unit, 13. Fifth unit, 12. Sixth unit, 12. Why 6 now? 10. And these two. $86. Total utility of 6y is the total utility of 2x. 86. You add all these things up to this. Here you add these two, x2 by 6. Now what will happen? Total utility, therefore, 128. 120. Understand the calculation? Mathematically, we can find out if you have the marginal utilities, if you know the prices, then you can calculate utility maximizing combination of x and y. This is how we calculate table. Now you'll be familiar, you're maybe familiar with this for your A levels or the degree programs or CIMA, chartered. These are basic calculations are there. So you can understand. Most of you are following some other courses now. This calculation, even if you don't, now this you can understand now how to calculate this utility maximizing combination. At the utility maximizing combination, he purchased 2x, 6y. 2x means 4 rupees. Price is 2 into 2, 4. 6y is price 1, 6 rupees. 4 rupees plus 6 rupees, 10 rupees. What is income? 10. 10. So therefore, he spent all his income 10 to buy this x and y. Budget condition is satisfied. Well, this is our economy. It's very highly simplified economy. We assume two goods x and y. So when he purchased 2x means 4 rupees. 6y means 6 rupees. 4 plus 6 is 10. Budget constraint is satisfied. He spent all his income to buy utility maximizing bundle 2 and x. No savings, no borrowings. That is interesting. 9. That's actually it's a highly abstract method, highly ideal method. We are contented. We are getting 10 rupees, spend 10 rupees. No savings or no borrowings. This is a bit different from the real world situation. Some households save, some households borrow. So that possibility is not in this theory. There is another model to understand this, explain this model, the intertemporal the behavior. But here, at this point, you get 10, spend 10. No savings, no borrowings. That's all. No savings, no borrowings. Right? So now you can understand this the question, how to answer this question. Right. What is the total amount of utility received by the consumer? 2 of x gives him the how much? 42. 6y gives him 86. 128. Verify the two equilibrium condition. Of course, the condition you have already verified. MUX or PX equals MUI or PY. Budget is also satisfied. Income 10. 2x and 6y cost him 10. Total expenditure, total income equals. Budget satisfied. Right. Right. Now, I think from that point, I think that's the thing we have to move that. From this example, we completed the marginal analysis of theory of consumer behavior. What is marginal analysis? Volume analysis assumes that utility can be measured. Cardinal measure of utility. Then we discuss total utility and marginal utility, law of diminishing marginal utility. Then market constraint, PX, PY, income. Then utility maximization. The consumer's objective to maximize utility subject to budget. Now, second approach, indifference curve analysis, assumes that utility cannot be measured. You cannot assign numbers. When you eat 3 oranges, you can't say 5 utils, 10 utils, 100 utils. No. This is more realistic approach. Consumer can rank different bundles. Working at Vellavatta branch or Peta branch. I prefer Vellavatta branch to Peta branch. Or he might say, I prefer Peta branch to Vellavatta branch. Or he might say, I don't mind. When people say, I don't mind, when they have a choice, they have a choice. What does that mean? You have a choice. I don't mind means you are indifferent. Indifferent. If you don't have a choice, that is the different, because either you can tell your management and you have a choice. You have a chance to get Vellavatta or the Peta. You have a choice. But still you say, I don't mind. That means you are getting the same utility, same satisfaction. Indifference curve analysis to consumer behavior has 3 stages. Like marginal utility, you have consumer's preference, taste, utility, we assume. But here we don't, when you assume the utility, you don't assign numbers. First, utility, consumer preference. Second stage, budget constraint. Mathematically, total expenditure, total income. Third one, again, like in the marginal analysis, utility maximization. How does a consumer maximize the utility subject to budget? Right? So this approach, you have indifference curve. Like in the marginal approach, we assume consumers total the preferences, utility assumptions, then the indifference curve, budget constraint, then the utility maximization. We discussed that, right? So that, of course, we need one more day. Next week, we will discuss the indifference curve analysis. So, but still, before that, remember, we all are utility maximizers, subject to budget. When you buy, when you anything, good or service, you maximize utility subject to a budget. You all, in a free enterprise economy system, nobody is giving money. No? We all are utility maximizers. Second approach we will discuss coming Saturday. We will discuss the indifference curve analysis. Please go through my notes. First, that 2 questions of the quiz, question number 5 and 6. Understand, answer these questions. I believe you have a separate book for this, the answering questions, the quizzes. Then here also I want to complete that the example that we did. Understand. Next week, see you all. Next week, the 10:30, and continue with this indifference curve analysis. Plus, I might give you some quiz also. Quiz number 4. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We'll stop now. Hello. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. See you next week. Thank you.